Hi, Debbie with Bug Juice here. I just wanted to show you a tutorial on how I made a card base for this type of card in Silhouette Designer Studio. I originally didn't do this card in Silhouette Studio. I had made it myself just with my paper cutter, and here is the diagram of how I did it, and I posted this on my blog, and you can see it's 6¼ inches by 10 inches, and then you have to make a lot of these cuts to make it curved, that kind of thing. So I thought it would be nice to actually do it in my Silhouette program so that I could save the file for in the future if I wanted to make this type of card, maybe not a Halloween one, but maybe in something else. So I'll show you how I did that. Now this file is the one I've done, and these are actually two different files that I've done. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. I made this base first, and I quickly learned that if I add another mat so that I could do portions of this card base, I thought originally when I saved it, all the mats I had on my space would be saved, but that's incorrect. So I've had to do this a couple times. So when I made a new mat, if I did not save that one before I closed it, then I only was saving the one I was looking at right here. If that makes any sense at all, I hope it does. So to get started, and this is angled on here like this because obviously it won't fit on the mat otherwise. I'll make a new file. I started out with this rectangle tool. I made a rectangle. I went up to this scale window tool, clicked that, and then I changed this dimensions to 10 by 6¼ hit apply, and then I'll color this in so that you can actually see it much better. Now for me, I wish I could drag this ruler over here to the sides so that it had numbers on the mats. I wish I had numbers here on the mats actually, so like the Cricut mat does, so it's easier to know where you're at. So what I do is I just put it, since I'm going to start up here, I want to put this on a line that I can actually tell where I'm going to go with this. Actually, I'm going to put it down on here so I can count on this side up 3, 3½. So I'm going to take my knife tool and I'm going to start in the corner here, and I'm going to go over until I get 3½ over here on this side. You can see I've got 1, 2, 3½ boxes there. So I'm going to let go, and now I have that piece. I'm going to delete this piece. Now I'm also going to line it back up over here to the side just so I can kind of keep track of these squares so I can do my score lines. And I know this first piece needs to be scored over 4 inches, and then after that each score line is at 2 inches. So I'm going to go select my line tool. I'm going to go over to 4, and you can also use this upper ruler here. That's helpful. I'm going to place my line here. I'm going to hold down my shift key so I can make a straight line. You can see I went a little over, but that's no big deal. You can shorten it when you're done. Now, there's 2 ways you can make this a perforated line. You can use the cut line or the cut tool up here. You can select that. Then you can click perforated. That's one way to do it. You can also select the line, and I go up here a lot and I select this, and then I choose my perforations right there. That seems easier for me. I don't know. That's how I started doing it, so that's probably how I'm going to stay doing it. So now I'm going to make one at 2 inches from that point. I'm going to go hold my shift key down and drag it down, let go. Actually, I don't think I did that one completely straight, so let me redo that again. If you don't, sometimes I have a tendency to drag my mouse when I let up, and then I've moved it. And you can see I did that again. So let me just move it over manually. Okay, so now I'm going to go back up here again, select my perforations. One more, 2 inches over, drag it down. Why am I doing that today? I'm so sorry. Do it one more time. Practice makes perfect. It's because I'm letting off of my shift button too quick. Okay, so now let me make that a perforated line. Okay, now I'm going to show you another. I group this together after I have that all done so that my lines don't move and when I'm moving the image around. This is another really cool thing that I've learned to use. This little tool here, it's draw a polygon. I like that because obviously if I want to do layers for this, it's going to have an angle in it. And the way I was doing it before was I was making a rectangle and I was cutting it off manually with the knife tool. Then I realized that I could use this poly tool. What I do is I bring it over. Obviously, you can see where the lines are, the crosshatch lines, which I like because I want to leave a little reveal. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to just go over to here and click where or let off the mouse. You can see that's where it stops. I'm going to drag this back down to where I want my next little line to be. Back over here. And I eyeballed it obviously. So I'm going to go back up and I click there and it's sealed that up. So now this is one layer. And let me color that in so you can see what I'm talking about. And now that's perfect layer for this spot. Again, I'm no professional, but I'm learning these things as I go along, and hopefully that'll help you if you ever want to make something like this. So I'm going to do one more. Again, you see my little crosshatch line, so you can kind of see I'm leaving some space so I can leave a little reveal. I'm going to click here, go over to where I want the next one to be, go back down, click, back over, click, and then back up and click. And then again, I've got another, I'll color that a different color, another little layer for this. And this is what I did for each one of these panels, because when you put this card together, and I can do another video on that when you place these panels on here and how you fold it. But if you look at my card, you could probably figure that out on your own. But I just wanted to show you a quick little video of how I made that. And I'm starting to make a lot of my step cards and things like that in my Silhouette Studio so that when I ever remake those cards, because when I've done it all by hand before, it's very, time consuming. And the first time you do it, obviously, is a lot of learning. It's a learning process. So this really helps because once I've done it by hand, then I can kind of come in here. I've made my pattern, drew it out on paper, or if I find a YouTube video, if somebody's made a card I really like, then I like to come in here and make it on my Silhouette and keep it in my files. So I hope that helps you, and I thank you for stopping by.